From Rome, we continue on, and this week we head on out to Kansas. Before we do that, welcome on into the Highline Podcast. I'm, of course, Jason, and he's William Blackwell. We're going to, of course, talk about last week's race there at Darlington, and then we'll, of course, preview the upcoming race there at Kansas. How's it going there, William?
It's going good, man. Heading into this week, looking like a genius. After last week, I stated that NASCAR will outdo Formula One in views, and they clearly did it by a lot. And I look like a genius, and hopefully again this week I look like one again, making the right picks and winning a lot of money and helping y'all win a lot of money also. But I'm ready for this week's race at Kansas. It's going to be a good one.
Do you remember those numbers off the top of your head? I remember you sharing that tweet with me. What was it,
It was
2.6 versus like 2.1 million or something?
exactly. It was 2.6, 2.1, 2.0. It was in that range. But NASCAR got on the top ropes and jumped down and got them by the throat hold. And they were on the sister company,
Yep.
Fox Sports 1. And that just shows you how big the NASCAR fan base has grew the last couple of years. And just imagine if it was on Fox.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 million, maybe 3.5. I don't know. That might be pushing it. But 3 was definitely in sight. But they got to do something, though. They cannot have a crown jewel race on a sister broadcasting network. I just don't agree with that.
Yeah, it was weird having it on FS1. I'm not a big F1 guy. I heard a lot of complaining, though, that the track maybe wasn't, up to the driver's standards. We don't want to elaborate on F1, but it wasn't a good race. I know you're an F1 guy as well.
If my honest opinion, the race was kind of dull.
Yeah.
I would have thought it'd been a little bit more exciting and chaotic just because the Friday practice session, we saw Carlos Sainz having a terrible season so far, Ferrari getting another wreck, and it was a hard hit. It was like 51 G-forces, which was very, very heavy crash. And Saturday rolled around, we saw a lot more crashes involved, and I thought Sunday was going to be a wreck fest, and it was going to push it until a little bit later of a ending time, and it was going to interfere with the NASCAR viewership. But it was actually clean, and it resulted in them getting done around 4:30, 5 o'clock, and NASCAR was still having about another hour and a half left of racing. So the clean racing in Miami helped out NASCAR get more viewerships, I believe. And that's the honest truth. And the track was all right. I don't want to keep on going about it, but it was an all right race. 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10. All right, I'm looking forward to when they get to Vegas because that's a town that I'm used to walking around with like a drink in my hand, and I think that there's going to be like F1 cars running around those streets. I look forward to when they can do that. But let's get on back to NASCAR. That's something at least we can both talk about. I can't hold down an F1 conversation. Let's look back at Darlington last week, the Goodyear 400. Joey Logano. I know we'll obviously get to the controversial finish there at the end. I look forward to hearing your thoughts about the dirty, inappropriate move there by Joey Logano. Didn't like it one bit. But before that, let's talk about Ross Chastain having another strong day. Now, the broadcast obviously going to talk about him. 6 finishes in the top 3. Guys outstanding, obviously, until he lost it, got a little loose there on that restart with Denny Hamlin. A little bit unfortunate with him. Kyle Larson was also good. Speaking of Joey Logano, gosh, nobody could touch him on a restart. His car just jumped out. Multiple car lanes ahead there on the restarts. What were some of the things that caught your eye? And then let's talk about that ending.
Joey Logano was fast all day long on the pole. And it's kind of a frightening sight to see that 22 car in such a dominating fashion at a racetrack like Darlington, because he's got a couple of good tracks coming up. This week, obviously, you got Kansas, which he's won at in the past numerous times. And then you got the All-Star race at Texas, which is a track he's won at before. He might get $1 million there. And the Coca-Cola 600 is one of his better tracks. It leads me to think about last year, the run Kyle Larson had at this time of year. Could Logano go down that same path and win a lot of races, because he has a lot of good tracks coming up? And Team Penske is now starting to get the ball rolling with his next-gen car. So I really wouldn't count him out. And winning at Darlington was a very big deal for him and that organization. But enough about Logano. Chastain had a great day. He was very quick. And he at least proved to me that he is a legit championship contender, because let's be honest here. If you win at Coda and Talladega, that doesn't really say that you're a championship contender. They're just showing you got lucky to win at them 2 tracks. Because road course wins, you got to have a little bit of luck on your side. And Talladega is full of luck. There's no talent. I ain't saying Ross Chastain is not talented, but I'm just saying it didn't require much talent to win that race, because It's just luck, and he was in the right place at the right time.
But I mean, he's got 6 finishes in the top 3. This guy's legitimate to me for the championship. It doesn't matter what course you take him to. The guy's going to be running up there at the top. He was looking good. Kyle Larson was also looking good there on the restarts. He was able to, jump out in front of Logano a couple times there by taking that high line. Still lots of wrecks and spins you're seeing obviously with this next gen car. Brad Keselowski, was involved in a couple of those incidents. Still just getting a fair number of spins. I guess that is what it is here. Anything else, or should we talk about? It seemed like you shook your head there. You don't disagree that Logano was a little dirty there at the end. That was dirty, man. That was dirty. I mean, that's just dirty. Dirty. You can't pass him cleanly, so you're gonna bump it, get into his bumper, send him into the wall. But that's about as dirty as it gets. I'm surprised they didn't fight. I'm surprised they didn't fight on pit road. Throw some punches. That's dirty.
The thing about them, too, is that they're very professional. They're not going to go down there and start throwing hands like a lot of other drivers will. Yeah. Logano is a professional. William Byron showed his true skills after the race. He kept his cool. Obviously,
he was pissed, though, when he got interviewed. Yeah. He was pissed, rightfully so, in my mind, obviously.
Yes, but he kept his cool, which gained my respect for him. In the past, Kurt Busch, the one that comes off the top of my head, has had bad issues in the past. Whenever something like this happened, he would go berserk and go after these media people that are interviewing him and trying to fight him. Like,
yeah, right.
He's obviously grew up. Like the 2015 situation where he was suspended helped him grow up, and since then he has been all right. But Byron, though, showed his true colors, and he was pretty talented in his post-race interview. That gained my respect.
So you think it was justified, though? Because earlier people were saying he got doored, and it took me a while to find that video, but I guess technically he did. I don't know. You're fine with Logano just being like, I can't get by you, so I'll just bump you with 2 to go and, ruin your day? Come on.
There are 3 sides to it. You got William Byron's side, you got Logano's side, and the actual truth. The actual truth.
I love that.
But Logano was bumped into the wall by William Byron, and he thought that was a shot thrown at him. So when Logano got back to Byron, he repaid the favor, and I think they're pretty even here.
Well, the big difference is though Byron's move didn't send Logano out of the race in terms of contention. What Logano did, that was a game over for Byron. He had no chance after that to obviously win the race. I mean, with what happened at the time that it happened, that's it. It's a huge difference. Byron didn't end Logano's day.
Yeah, the 24 car has had a bad history in the past, let's be honest here, when it comes to knocking out people and not knowing how to handle when the heat gets brought back to you. One thing that tops of my head was Clint Boyer in 2012 going for the championship. If he would have finished the race the position he was at, he would have won the championship that year, but Brad Keselowski went on to win it. But he bumped the 24 car Jeff Gordon into the wall. Jeff Gordon went back around and slowed down and wrecked the 15 car. Very immature, and the 24 car has a history of doing that, but off topic there. But I think Logano is in the right because he's a racer, and at the end of the day, he is an employee for Roger Penske at Team Penske. And his job is to win races, not to finish runner-up or third place, because the winning difference from winning to second place is a couple of $100,000, and that team could use that money to up their development for the car as the season goes on, and maybe even save up for next season, which I'm kind of worried about next year because you're going to see a lot of teams well prepared and some teams not so prepared because they might have a late championship run and they might keep their focus on the 2022 season rather than 23. So money is key in NASCAR right now.
Well, and you see that, not to bring back F1, but isn't that what like Ferrari did? Like they kind of mailed it in the last season and really started working on this new car, and that's why Ferrari's like kicking butt. Anyways, I think that's the same point you're making, which
exactly.
There's a lot of logic to that. Yeah, completely. All right, so we obviously disagree on the ending there, which is perfectly fine. I like that as well. Nothing wrong with that. Trying to think if there's anything else really to say from that race. I thought it was good. I was enjoyed. Maybe it started a touch slow, but I thought it picked up. There were wrecks, there were spins, there was actions, restarts. Like I said, Logano was really good on all the restarts, but I thought I thought it was good. Probably put it around that 7-8 if I had to put it on a scale between 1 to 10, somewhere around there.
Yeah, they can actually pass, and that was a big success because in the past couple of weeks, it was hard to pass, like it really was. And this week was a good stepping stone going forward. Darlington it's like an intermediate track, but it does race like a short track in the corners. You got to ease up the brakes And the throttle, you got to be cool with that. You cannot get trigger happy and go full throttle and then just spin around like what happened to Chastain.
Chastain, yeah.
But yeah, great weekend overall for NASCAR. A great rebound after a couple of bad weeks at the short tracks and Dover. Success.
All right, well, no more wins for Joey Logano. I put in a future bet preseason that he would have under 1.5 wins. So he's got his one win. No more, Logano. Let me win some money on this season. All right, let's go ahead now and turn our attention to the AdventHealth 400 down there at the Kansas Motor Speedway. Obviously, this is the true cookie cutter 1.5 mile intermediate track. If you're doing your research, just grab those intermediates, and Kansas just falls right up in that bucket right there. Kyle Busch and Kyle Larson were both your winners last season. Kyle Larson was strong in both of those races. He led 132 laps there in the spring, was first and second in the two stages. Yeah, Kyle Larson was certainly strong. To me, it's your typical big guns at this track when you start looking at these cookie cutters. Anything that maybe you're looking for to maybe surprise you or anything kind of like that? Or to me, this cookie cutter makes this week just so easy.
Well, this weekend, I don't know why I got this feeling, but I do, because the cars are a lot slower than they were last year. Let's be honest here. And I viewed them as a truck car, like the truck series. The cars, they take a very long time to get up to speed, about a full lap. As a couple of years ago, it just took them just to get into turn one, and off of turn two, they were up to full speed. It's not like that no more. So with that being there, they're going to have some pack racing going on in the first 5 to 10 laps, like they've done in the truck series in the past around Vegas and Kansas. But it's going to, after 15 laps or so, that's going to spread out and going back to the normal style, intermediate style racing. But the first 15 laps are going to be a constant hell for every single driver out there, because one little move can take them all out. But once you get past that 15-lap threshold, you'll be all right.
Okay. All right. Normal contenders for you? I'm kind of thinking normal guys.
Yeah, the Penske guys are going to be quick. So are the Hendrick guys.
Boys. Oh, yeah.
And maybe a long shot here, the RFK boys at Roush and Keselowski, they were very quick here last year. Very, very quick, and nearly won the spring race with Buescher, so can't count them out.
I don't know, because Lasky just showed me last week he just can't stay out of trouble. I mean, the first incident wasn't his fault; he was just checking up. But still, I mean, he got caught up. It just seems like when you're unlucky, I don't know. It just seems like he's a little bit unlucky so far in the early going. All right, let's go ahead now and turn our attention now to the NBC Sports Predictor app. This is a course where you can win $10,000. You give you 3 stages. You got to pick the driver to finish best amongst the stage. And then, of course, you also have to give them a top 3. All season long, I've been giving away $25 to the winner of the Winning Bets League. All you have to do is join that league, have the most points at the end of that race, and you can take home my $25. If you need that league information, you can grab it from this video description. Let's take a look and see who won last week when it was actually worth $75, because we had multiple weeks where we had ties. So we just kept rolling that $25 over. So Big Fargus won, coming in with a nice $75 win there with a 35-point entry. And I finally cracked the leaderboard. I had a nice solid entry there by 30 points. So I'll go ahead and take that. But we got to improve. We need to win $10,000. And with that being said, let's jump on into it and get our picks. William, I'll throw up all your stages. Why don't you just talk about stage 1 first, and then, or I'll throw up mine first. Or I'll throw up both of ours. There we go. We both have Ross Chastain. I'm just riding the momentum. Guy's on fire. You looked at who he was pitted against in that group. To me, it was a no-brainer. What do you want to add to that?
Chastain's very good here at Kansas. He's won here in the past in the truck series and done really well in Xfinity. And Cup, he was all right last year, but this year he's at the top of his game. So give me Ross Chastain in group number 1, because he's one of the best drivers in that group.
I know, really, that was another one that I thought was relatively easy. We both like a Hendrick driver. It looks like they're in stage 2. I just went on Kyle Larson. Maybe he's also having a little bit of rough luck, including last weekend there at Darlington. But boy, just super strong here in both races last year. Why did you like William Byron a little bit more over Kyle Larson?
Because I think last week is a big factor why I picked Byron here, because he's pissed off. And he's going to carry that as motivation into Kansas, and so will his crew chief, Rudy Fugle. And them two together at Kansas in the past has been very dominant. This is where William Byron got his first career win in NASCAR, but back in the truck series, back in God knows when, 2015, 2016, but who cares? But Byron here has success with Rudy Fugle, his crew chief, and they're going to have a great setup here with the Hendrick 24 car. So give me William Byron for stage number 2.
All right, and then for stage 3, it looks like you went Joey Logano. I went Denny Hamlin. You've kind of touched on maybe you're expecting Joey Logano maybe to go on a little bit run. Denny Hamlin's had a lot of success here. In the last 6 races, he's gotten 2 victories in those last 6 races. He's led the second most laps in those last 6 races with 275, only just behind Kyle Larson. 5th place, 12th place finishes last season, but all 4 stages were in the top 10. You know this guy's going to be there. He's a strong guy week in, week out. He seems to kind of drift off in stage 3 this season. Bad luck, unfortunate, pit road issues, various things. But if he doesn't have that issue in stage 3 like he's been having all season, he's going to be there. So that's why I went with him. Why did you take Logano?
Denny Hamlin was a great pick for you. I saw on tweet from his crew chief, Chris Gabehart, that they're the scariest team ever in NASCAR to be 23rd in the point standings.
Right.
That's the truth. They're very scared. They can go on a run here.
Well, look what he did last season. Second place, come playoff, win. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you can never count him out. He technically is locked in, but you got a couple of unknown tracks, and you got so many spots left, like 5 or 6, and we can easily see 5 or 6 different winners, and Hamlin could be the odd man out because of his point situation. So he has to do good. And I like your pick with Hamlin, but I chose Logano. He's going to be very quick, and I expect him to go on a run and win these next handful of races.
What's there been? Has there been 10 different drivers that win? Is it 10? I think there's been 10 unique drivers that have won so far this season, if I recall that number. Let's go ahead and put up our full picks. I think the number's 10. All right, that'll give you guys that $10,000. You also got to give them a top 3. You like Logano taking that checker flag. He's going back-to-back. I wonder who he's going to bump out of his way this week to go ahead and get it. I like Kyle Larson. Again, he's just been too strong. I've got his teammate right behind him, William Byron. I thought that was a great pick by you, obviously, in stage 2. And then Ross Chastain cracked it. Guy's just been good every week in, week out. As long as he doesn't run into something that happened to him like last week there on the restart, he's going to be there. So I had to throw him in there. Break down your top 3.
I think it's going to play out like it did last week. Byron's going to be leading. Logano's going to catch him. But this time around, we'll pass him cleanly. And Byron will finish runner-up. 3rd place will be Tyler Reddick. That team right there needs a little bit of luck. Last week at Darlington was all right, but the weeks prior were just terrible. And they were wanting to get that behind them as soon as they can. The Bristol Dirt Race had a chance to win, but it's a racing incident. Chase Briscoe got together and took him out. I say it's a racing incident, though, because Briscoe's my driver. I want to stick up for him. But Reddick had that thing won, and you just hate it for that whole 18 because right now RCR is struggling every other week at tracks. And if they would have got that win at Bristol, they could have put their attention on to Austin Dillon trying to make the playoffs. And right now they got to do good and win a race first with Tyler Reddick. And this weekend could be a good chance because the highline here at Kansas is very big. And if you can ride it very well, you're going to make up a lot of time, and you're going to be in contention for the win. But there you go, top 3, Logano, Byron, and Reddick.
I actually think your top 3 would kind of be a dream scenario there for Joey Logano, because I think he's going to want Byron to be behind him sooner than later, because I think it becomes in the playoff time. Byron won't hold off just because it's a playoff race. He'll dump him essentially just like he got dumped last week by Logano. So I think that'd be a dream scenario for Logano if that happens sooner than later before the playoffs start, because I think payback will happen 100% between those guys. All right, let's move over now to the Fox Bet Super 6 app. This one's worth $5,000. I'm going to be pulling up the questions for the first time. You sent me a Twitter message, was it yesterday or today, and said it's tough. I'm pulling it up for the first time. That's not encouraging. They've made this so tough. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. All right. Where's the pole sitter going to finish at the end of stage 2? This is a pretty repeat question from every week. I'll go 3rd. I don't know. I'll go 3rd.
I got answer D, 5 to 6. I think the pole sitter is going to probably be, I don't know, I can see Christopher Bell getting the pole and he'll fall back.
Yeah, if it's one of those guys, I'll definitely change mine off at 3rd. How many laps under caution? So they keep alternating between the number of cautions and laps under caution before the end of stage 2. How many caution laps usually are competition? Is it like 4-ish, 5-ish? Like when they do the competition, they'll do the end of stage 1. How many will we get there? You'll get like 4 or 5 for each of those?
You would have 6. If they were to have like a competition caution, like lap 25, that'd be 6 laps.
6 laps.
8 laps for the stages, so we're talking about 16.
It says at the end of stage 2, so I don't think they're counting And actually, I got hit up by Kyle. Let me actually pull up my Twitter DM real quick while you think, because he actually told me he actually counted at the end of last week. He was like, they either are or are not counting it. By the way,
it's a high number. It's a lot higher than you would expect because they got commercial breaks and they're just riding it around and wait for them to get back on. They're just buying time. So
they got the worst time for these commercial breaks. Like Larson spun on her commercial last week. A couple other guys spun. That commercial breaks, I was like, wait, where's my guy? I'm like sitting there watching it on the app during a commercial break. My guy's just free falling. It's like, what's going on?
Dude.
All right, I'm going to go 18 to 24 then. 18 to 24.
I agree with you. That's what I had. But they need to go the Formula One route. They have to. They got to go commercial free. That would be sick.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
They could do like soccer. Just throw the sponsor of whoever up on the top of the screen and just let that go, or side by side. I don't really care which one. Just let me watch the race. Which of these drivers will have the fastest lap by the end of stage 2? Chastain, Bowman, Hamlin, Truex, Kyle Busch, or Ty? Well, why was there a tie? Somebody's going to have the fastest lap. I guess they could be the exact same. I'm going to Ross Chastain.
Chastain needs to be here early on, and Chastain's going to be the man to go with here.
All right, you broke up a second. You said Chastain?
Chastain all day long.
Okay. Which manufacturer between Chevrolet and Ford will have the most cars in the top 10? Got this question right last week. And how many? I'm going to go ahead and say Chevy, because I think Hendrick's going to be really good this weekend. There'll be 3 of those boys. I'll throw in a Chastain. I'm going to go with 4. I got Chevy and 4. What about for you?
Ford and 4. I think this right here is ruining the app, these type of questions.
They're tired of giving out money.
I guess the honest truth, if you're not going to be wanting to give out your money, might as well just not have it at all. And I don't like how they're doing this. I think they're, taking the fun out the game, because now you haven't, from going to have a chance to win this game every other once in a while, you're going to about maybe like a .001. Like, it's nearly damn impossible. So they got to go back to the old way they were doing it. Maybe add on a couple more questions. I don't know. It's stupid right now, and they got to get it going, because I know in a couple of weeks at Charlotte, the price stake is going to be high because it is one of the bigger races, and you're going to be a lot more viewers. And it's the Coca-Cola 600. Everybody's going to tune into it, so they got to make the changes prior. But I'm afraid if they don't, they're going to have a lot lower numbers week in and week out, because it's damn hard to win.
Yeah, that's why I was really happy when our supporter here, Kyle, got that big win. Boy, so pumped for him. I think it was the week after, then they changed it. So Kyle took all their money. All right, which of these drivers will have the better finish at the end of stage 2, and what place will they finish? So this is different than last week, because last week you had to pick how much better would they be than their opponent. This one you're not picking how much better. You're saying what place will they be. It's Keselowski, Byron. I know we'll both be on Byron, based on how we answered, obviously, the NBC Sports on stage 2. It's a matter of where do I put Byron. He's going to be in the top 3, so I'm going to go 1 to 2 just because I get 2 entries. Where are you at?
Exactly what I had. 1 to 2, easily William Byron.
Easily William Byron. All right, and then the same question here. Which of these drivers will have the better finish at the end of the race, and by how many positions? Okay, so now you got to guess the gap between Reddick and Bell. I think Reddick will be better than Bell, and I will say by 6. Reddick's going to finish 6th. And Bell's going to finish 11, so that's 5. I'm going Reddick by 5.
Let's see here, 2, 3. I got Reddick finishing 3rd, so he's going to finish 3 spots ahead. So in 7th place, you're going to have Christopher Bell, easily.
All right, and of course, just make sure you give us both a follow on Twitter, as of course you can modify those answers throughout stage 1. And if you're following me on Twitter, you saw that I sent the tweet out last week, so I'll certainly do the same again this week, and William will as well. All right, there we are. We're off to Kansas this week for the AdventHealth 400. Look forward to this one. Look forward to seeing if we can't get somebody that we suspect to just kind of go out there and set the pace and do the work and bring home checkered flag. So look forward to talking about it with you back in here next week on the Highline Podcast, William. Enjoy it.
All right, man.
That was a lot of fun. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and good luck with your picks. If interested in placing real sports bets, then check out my latest daily free sports betting video in the bottom right corner. Otherwise, I'll see you on the next contest.